The details of what police and prosecutors say Taylor Schabusiness did to the man they say she killed can only be described as incredibly graphic.
Despite the attack, Judge Walsh did reschedule Schabusiness's competency hearing for March 6th. Her murder trial has been moved back to May 15th. Reporting in Brown County, Brittany Schmidt, Action 2 News.
A court commissioner set a $1 million bond for Jeremiah Robinson during his initial hearing Monday afternoon. He's facing 3 felony and 5 misdemeanor charges.
Bill and Cammie, multiple fire agencies are at the scene of this fire, which you can see right over my shoulder. This is on Lawrence Road, at the intersection of Lawrence Road and Hickory Road. Police we talked to on scene say that there are agencies from all over Brown County that came to assist the Lawrence Fire Department.
We're continuing to watch for cancellations this morning. Right now out of Austin Straubel, we've got about 8 flights canceled, 1 delayed, and Appleton International now seeing more than a dozen flights canceled or delayed.
Police were clearing the downtown area on July 4th after fire over the Fox was done when they saw a group of boys walking. Body cam footage shows a 16-year-old flash what looks like a gun at police. That's when an officer turned on his sirens and the teen took off before eventually being arrested.
Why are you flashing it like it's real at us? I'm not.
Yeah, you were.
They told me to flash it at you guys.
Green Bay police released this footage on Thursday to highlight the issue of fake guns. And in a media release, police say they're concerned over the risk of tragedy.
Sheboygan County, Michigan Sheriff's Deputy Ron Fenlon took this video during the execution of a search warrant at Richard Pierce's home in 2018. This is the photo of the same area taken in 2008. Fenlon points out the difference in what he saw 10 years apart, seeing a cut in the concrete and dirt and rocks removed in 2018. 2 other women then take the stand, both who say they had relationships with Pierce and had been in his Michigan home. But Jan McCrimmon tells jurors Pierce would not let her go into certain areas of his home.
Since then, cases have skyrocketed. On December 10th, there was 38 total active positive cases. Last week, that total stood at about 200 cases, when including the number of close contacts.
Like Isaac Nelson, for instance. His aunt helped organize his GoFundMe page and posted today that Isaac was able to see his friends this weekend and received a huge gift basket. She also says Isaac's face looked rough, but doctors tell her those burns will heal on their own, and he may not need any more surgery, barring any complications. Then there's Benjamin Van Asten. On Facebook, his father Greg posted thank yous to the kids who helped put out the fire on Benjamin, and that includes Isaac. He says it was, quote, good people helping each other through an unimaginable crisis.
Weather Center meteorologist Keith Gibson and David Ernst are working on this storm right now, tracking it. We're going to start with Keith. Well, let's just start with the very latest.
Let's get right into where we are so far. About 2 to 6 plus inches of snow in our area. This is from last night through so far today. And we will continue to add about 5 to 10 inches of.
Steering those storm systems is going to be the upper level winds. These are the wind speeds these are the winds, I should say, that are several miles up above the ground. And you'll notice them coming out of mainly a southwesterly direction. And
the website says Jim Nouse made the Guinness World Record for the longest string cheese. 1.5 miles long. That's what they're holding right there. Group came out with plenty of people to help out holding the cheese as the tractor drove down the road. In total, the group made a string cheese of 3,832 feet. This family thanks you. And it took about 5.5 hours to make that string cheese. To add a little more Wisconsin flair to the event, there was polka music and a brat fry.
So we thought that was a great starting point for those who wanted to get into the bracket challenge, but start out with a little bit more of a basic coffee taste. Aside from that, we are also featuring our breakfast items. We have our Chipotle turkey egg sandwich, along with the variety of different burritos and dipping sauces. And then the next few weeks, we're also going to be featuring our Jiminy latte versus our turtle mocha, and then chai latte varieties versus our Rishi tea selections.
Some even joining Manchester City for a soccer clinic at Titletown to kick off the fun.
Think about those beautiful and enchanting skating rinks across the country. The one at 30 Rock in New York probably comes to mind. The Winter Wonderland at Jackson Hole, maybe. Locally, the one at the Plaza at Gateway Park in Neenah is officially among them after being named the 9th most charming ice rink in America by lifestyle website Best Life. It's a rink that's only been in operation for 2 years, but its ambiance is closer to the one at Rockefeller Center. And there's a good reason for that.
Now, Grow It Forward is growing up.
back in the recession of 2008, 2009. I was getting a little worried about where food was coming from, and I started my own garden. And I guess the inspiration kind of literally grew from there.
Amber Doggs considers herself the Chief Enthusiasm Officer of Grow It Forward. In 2019, a Manitowoc church donated a building to the organization. It boasts a pantry and hydroponic farm spanning 1/8 of an acre in the basement. Since the start of the pandemic, Grow It Forward has provided more than 2 million pounds of food to the community.
A recent family reunion in Weshera County celebrated quite the milestone. Verla Jones is 100 years old, and the party's special guest, her sister Dorothy Riley, who just happens to be 102. But if it seems like reaching the century mark is a big deal to these ladies, well, kind of.
I don't really think I ever gave it much thought. Just kind of crept up on me.
I never thought about it. Went through every birthday, and that was the number.
Dorothy and Verla, along with their sister Alice, grew up in Neenah.
We always had each other so we didn't get lonesome or bored. And it was just very interested in all kinds of things.
Yeah, we were real close. My mother kind of dressed us like twins when we were growing up, and we were very close. Bought our first car together.
Common connections continued throughout their lives. Verla and Dorothy both married a younger man. Each had 4 children, and when their first husbands passed away, they married another younger man, whom they again have outlived. Today, Verla lives in Saxville while Dorothy resides in Fish Creek. They both live on their own, still drive, and are in great health.
Very good. My doctor is always surprised that my blood work comes back. He says, better than most of his 40-year-olds.
I guess it's probably unusual, but we just take it for granted that that's the way it is.
So what is it that's allowed these ladies to become centenarians? Well, for starters,
everything in moderation, just taking it easy.
And good attitude is most important, I think. And whatever happens to you, you handle it.
Another key, perhaps?
Here's to us.
Yes.
A daily cocktail, generally a Manhattan.
Well, yes, or a martini or wine.
Maybe 1.5, but weak. I add a lot of water to it.
And on special occasions, cocktail hour might start a little earlier.
Because it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
And finally, both Verla and Dorothy say to live a long life,
10,
20.
You have to stay active,
30.
Mentally,
oh, that age doesn't help.
And physically.
Once you stop and sit down for the rest of your life, that's it.
So I read a lot and knit. I recycle cards and play cards a lot.
Verla also still volunteers at a local hospital and has lunch each week with her church's ladies group, while Dorothy is a regular at her local YMCA. Both extremely grateful for what they're able to do at this point in their lives.
Yes, I am. I feel very blessed.
I don't know, I keep saying, as long as God keeps me going at this age, you better make it interesting.
At this point, the two sisters show no signs of slowing down and, in fact, are already planning birthday celebrations for next year, when Verla will turn 101 and Dorothy 103. In Saxville with photojournalist Michael Wengrzyn, I'm Jeff Alexander for Small Towns.